guys. Okay, there I am. Sorry, I'm not good with all this technology stuff. Certainly really proud of our guys tonight. I mean, it's anytime you start the Big Ten season, you're really excited to play. Our guys were. When you draw Michigan State, I've said this, and this is no disregard to the other great programs in this league, but I've always felt since I've got here, the standard for Big Ten basketball is Coach Izzo and his program. So, to be able to come out tonight in the first game and put 40 minutes together and withstand the runs, I thought we played great in the first half. They came out in the second half and I think scored 4 or 5 times in a row, but so did we. I thought that was big. We continued to score, so the lead, I think it was 50-40, at that first, even though they'd scored 10 points there to start the half, we kept it a 10-point lead. And I just thought every time they tried to make a push, I thought our guys just made some great plays. Our defense was really good. It was great activity. We tried to mix it up a little bit, play some man, play some zone. I thought at the end of the game, the zone, more than anything, I know they scored a little bit, but it just, it slowed the game down. It made their less possessions. They had to use a lot of time in order to score. And then we came down and really executed well down the stretch. Certainly Buie was fantastic. I thought Pete Nance was fantastic. And for a freshman, Ty Berry, I thought his minutes were great for him to give us 12 points. And, I have confidence in our bench, and that's hopefully we can stay fresh. I feel like all 9 of the guys we play are really good players. I thought quietly Ryan Greer's minutes were fantastic. Anthony Gaines had one of the biggest buckets of the game when he drove in and laid the ball in, when they were trying to make a push. So just really proud of the guys. It's one game. I told them afterwards, there's going to be a lot talked about, how highly ranked Michigan State is and all that. But guess what? Everybody in our league is ranked like that. So, we're going to have games like this every night. And so I want our guys to enjoy it. Winning is very, very hard at this level. Winning is very, 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 very hard in the Big Ten this year. And so when you put together 40 minutes and find a way to win, I want our guys to enjoy it. I want them to get some rest. And then we got to come back tomorrow and get ready for our first road test at Indiana.
First question for Noah Kaufman.
Coach, you talk about, how everybody in this league is highly ranked and, it's a stacked league. And of course that's the case, but at the same time, for Northwestern, this is the first time beating a top 5 team in 41 years. So when you look at the historical significance, the program significance of a win like that in this situation, how much do you as a coaching staff take that into account at the same time as, well, this league is still stacked. We have to prepare for
that. I think I've told you guys we want to make a step forward this year. Last year I said it, we kind of hit the reset button last year and said we're going to bring in a lot of young kids and we're going to play them and we're going to develop them. And, when you do that, you got to go through some growing pains. And we did that in a big way last year, especially how hard the league was. And that's never easy. And then you find out a lot about your group by how they bounce back and how they learn and how they mature. And I think you saw that tonight, the growth in Pete Nance, the growth in Buie, the growth in Robbie Barron, guys that played a lot of minutes last year and were up and down with their play. And, for us to take a step forward, you got to have some big wins. And, and that's what we're trying to do this year. I don't know what that's going to mean overall. We feel we're confident. We feel we can compete. We don't listen. Like, I don't get on all that stuff about, where we're picked or I don't even know any of that stuff. My high school age kids tell me that stuff and I tell them to shut up. Like, I don't want to hear it. I just want to go to practice and, I want to get better with these guys and I want to get ready for the games and try to win. But yeah, it's our first win over Michigan State in 8 years, just in general. And like I've said, they're the standard of this program. So you got to feel good when you beat a Michigan State team because to beat them, you got to play really well. And we did that tonight.
Next question for Coop Daly.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. Ben says hello. We wish we were there. 10 days ago after Pitt, you say that in order to win those kinds of games, you need to get better at closing the game, taking care of the ball, making free throws, and getting stops. And a lot of that was on display tonight. Do you think this is just one of those examples where you've been putting in the work and now it's coming on display, or do you think there's still more to be done?
Yeah, I mean, there's always more to be done. I mean, we're not a finished product by any means, guys. I mean, it's one game, but it's a step in the right direction. You know, we didn't do things in the last week. We felt sick about the way the Pitt game. We led that game for 39 minutes and 55 seconds. So to walk away with a loss, that really stings. And I think we really looked at that film and we learned a lot about ourselves. Offensively. Shot selection, we want to play fast. And I think you saw that. We weren't afraid to run with Michigan State, and they're as good a running team as there is. We got out and we got transition baskets, and we have to continue to do that. And then when it came time to it at the end of the game, I thought we got stops. We didn't turn it over. We made free throws. We used clock. I thought we really shortened the game the last 5 minutes, and the zone had a hand in that, and as well as the way we executed offensively on the other end.
Next question for Patrick Andres.
Hi, Coach. Congrats on the win. So you look at your non-conference schedule, you're putting up all these gaudy offensive numbers against Arkansas Pine Bluff, Chicago State, Quincy, and then you turn around 6 days, 5 days, 6 days later and play Michigan State, and there's not really an enormous drop-off, it doesn't seem like. Do you feel this is something you can sustain? And if you don't think it's something you can sustain, do you have a plan to make up for that? What's your perspective on it?
Well, hopefully it'll sustain. I would love for it to sustain. But, the reality is every game in the Big Ten, there's going to be nights you shoot it well, and there's going to be nights that are going to turn into grinders, where it's defensive battles. And you got to learn how to win multiple different types of games. You got to be able to win a game that becomes a high scoring kind of shootout type of game. And you got to learn to win a hard fought possession by possession game in order to be competitive in our conference. But, we've really committed to, I've told you guys since the start of the year in the off season, I took a lot of time in the off season to really try to identify how I wanted this program. What we needed an identity, and you do a lot of, you look at yourself, what can I do better? What can we do to build this program where we all want it to be? And for me, it was about playing with more pace. And that's how I've always wanted to play. If you listen to my press conference 8 years ago, when I had a lot more brown hair and it wasn't completely gray, I said I wanted to play up tempo and I wanted to push the ball and I wanted to shoot the ball. And, we found a way to win at times when we didn't have kind of that personnel. And I just felt this was a time for us to really create an identity for how we want to play. And I think that's important when you're building a program. Like, the names may change and the guys may change, but this is how we play. And we've been really committed to playing this style of basketball, and we're going to stick with it and hopefully find a way to be competitive as we go through the conference.
Next question for Gabriella Carroll.
Yeah, Coach, congrats on the win. As you said a bunch of times, it's really hard to get wins in the Big Ten. It's such a competitive league. What does it mean for your team to be able to start off your Big Ten play with this big win? How will that propel you going forward? Yeah,
I mean, hopefully confidence-wise, it's a huge boost. We're all human beings, and when you play really well and you feel like you should win and you don't, you get knocked back. I mean, that's human nature. I mean, I feel I'm a really confident person in general, but when you go through tough losses where, things happen kind of like the Pitt game, it can start to wear on you a little bit. And for our guys, I'm just really proud of their resolve, so you come out against a terrific team like Michigan State and you put it together and they see that they can do it. I mean, it's one thing to talk about it, guys. You can practice it. I can practice every game situation and down by 3 and up by 5 and all that and press breaks and all that. But until you go out there and do it when the lights are on and when it matters most, then, that's when you break through. That's when you get better. And we did it tonight. It's one game. So we can't get ahead of ourselves. We did very well tonight. We played great. It's going to be a long Big Ten season, but I want our guys to enjoy tonight. Like you said, it's very hard to win. Every team is really, really good. So if you put together 40 minutes and you get a win in this league, you better take time to enjoy it because there's a lot put into it by a lot of people.
Time for 2 more questions. Next question for Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, hi, Coach. Obviously, you guys used Pete Nance at the 5 a lot tonight, as you've done all year, but certainly used him in a playmaking role quite a bit. Can you speak about his development in that role and how you guys are using him on the offensive end?
Yeah, I mean, I just feel like I wasn't doing a great job as Pete was younger, kind of developing his skill set, getting the most out of him. And certainly he had the mono, which knocked him back his freshman year. But even last year, I just didn't think I was maximizing what he can do. He's a really good passer. He plays really well out of the high post. He can shoot threes. His added strength. I thought his ability to drive the ball tonight was really good. Like when they jammed him on the perimeter, he got to the basket. He got a couple rolls where he dunked the ball, which he hadn't done. I mean, that's the added strength. That's the added confidence. But we like playing through him, at the elbows, at the high post, and we get cutters off of him, and we try to get movement and things, and we feel like he's going to make great decisions. He had 4 assists tonight, and he's going to be in that. I just felt like at that position, it would give us the best chance to maximize what he does. And, we'll try to figure it out. I know we're going to be playing against big, strong guys that we're going to have to figure it out on the other end at times, but maybe he can be a matchup problem for those guys on the other end. And I thought he certainly was that, especially in the first half.
And last question for Jack Leto.
Hey, Coach. Thanks for talking with us after the game. Congrats on the win. I couldn't help but notice on the broadcast, Buie came up to you when you were standing on the bench and whispered something in your ear, and I think you said yes. If you're comfortable sharing, what did he say to you?
He just was reminding me how good looking I was. So he just came over and he just said, Coach, if you don't know, you're really a good looking guy. And I said, yes. So
and
there you have it.
If I ask him the same thing, I'm sure he'll confirm that, right?
Yeah. Yeah. So there you have it. I gave you a secret tonight. Normally I wouldn't. I'm in a good mood. Normally I wouldn't give that information, but that it really made me feel good when he said that.
All right. Thank you, Coach. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, guys.
All right, we are ready to go with Pete Nance. As always, message Athletic Communications in the Zoom chat to get in line to ask a question. First question is for Jack Leto.
Pete, thanks for being here. You've had a lot of a lot of good games, but this one was one of your best, arguably your best if you asked certain people. And this game, a lot of us have been waiting for something like it. Can you speak to what you've done, past week, past month, past year to kind of lead you to a big game like you had today, a good double-double?
I just like kind of starting last year, I just started working. That was one thing that I wasn't doing a whole lot. I wasn't putting a lot back into the game. I was just taking and ended up not giving very much. And so I started to give back to the game, and I've been working, trying to come in, every night, get extra reps in. And I knew it was going to pay off for me eventually. Because work never lies. And, I've just been working hard, and it was fortunate to have it come through for me tonight.
Next question for Noah Kaufman.
Pete, out on the floor tonight, especially in the first half, you're an extremely vocal leader for this team. You were leading in terms of the offense, initiating stuff from up top, and also, seemingly directing traffic, telling guys where to go. That leadership role for you, has that been something you've come into over the process of this season? How have you felt like you stepped into that over these last few weeks?
I had great leaders when I was a young guy. I had great leaders in, guys like Vic Law, Derek Pardon, who were always really vocal. I learned from them, and I know how big of an impact that it had on the court when I was out there. And I've just been, as I've gotten older, I've been trying to step into more of a vocal leader role, and it's been good for me, I think.
Next question for Coop Daly.
Hey man, congrats on the win. So just what do you guys think have changed significantly from last year to this year? Like, is it just more of a core thing, or do you guys think you've just grown as a group overall, just to finally be having these games where you're get out to a lead and then finish a good game?
I think we've been through a lot together. This group, I know you guys have been watching all those games. We've been through a lot, and I know we've been coming together. I know everybody loves each other, and we just came together, and we're trying to change the narrative on what everybody thinks about us, that we can't finish all this stuff. That we're just a really tight knit group, and we just love playing together and being out there with each other. So.
Next question for Gabriella Carroll.
Congrats on the win, Pete. I know you guys have struggled with the pick game and closing out those games as Michigan State was sort of rallying back in the second half. What do you think allowed you guys to beat those runs back and stay ahead in situations where you may have in the past had a different outcome?
I think it comes from experience, to be honest with you. Obviously we've been in a lot of those situations before, and we've just talked about in practice and stuff and film sessions after those kinds of games that what we need to do, there's a few plays that can either put us in the game or put us out of the game. And I think that tonight we made a lot of the plays that kept us ahead, and we just stayed solid and stayed calm and played how we know how to play and didn't let them, change the way we play. And I think we did a great job.
Next question for Jordan Cohen.
Hey, Pete, you guys got up by 21 in the second half. They make a charge at you guys, 9-0 run, and then Ty hits that three-pointer for you guys. What's it say about him as a freshman that he felt comfortable taking that shot at that moment and then delivering at such a such a tense time?
Ty is a great kid. We all love him. He brings a lot of energy, and he's a super selfless player. And I think that's one thing Coach always talks about. When you're talking to your teammates, you're not talking to yourself, and you're not getting in your own head. And I think Ty just always brings that energy, and he's such a positive light for our team that, good things are destined to happen for him. And he's just playing with a lot of confidence, and he's going to be a big piece for us moving forward.
And last question for Noah Kaufman.
Pete, looking at those rebounding numbers for you today, you put up that double-double. You get the 12 defensive boards and 9 of those in the first half, going up against some big dudes from Michigan State. That development of you in the 5 role, but as a rebounding 5, that's something that's really come on this year, whereas last year you played more of that 4 position. What does that take, your ability to go in there and bang with the big dudes underneath?
I've just kind of been working on it, looking at film, opportunities for me to, get on the defensive glass. I think that's just one thing that I've talked a lot with, the big man coach, Coach James, just trying to become a better rebounder because I know I can do it. And if I just put my mind to it, then, I can rebound with those guys, no problem. So, just a lot of film and a lot of help from Coach James. So.
All right. Thank you, Pete. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
What's up, guys?
Thanks, Boo. We'll start taking questions in the chat. First question for Patrick Andres.
Hi, Boo. Congrats on the win. I was looking at a sequence early in the first half. You make a 3-pointer, and Michigan State immediately they go down and miss a jumper. Then you come back and make another 3-pointer. When this team is clicking and they're hitting shots on back-to-back possessions, how do you think that sort of fires this offense into gear?
You said when we're hitting shots back to back?
Yeah, when you're hitting shots in succession like that, how do you think that keys your offense?
So our team is really, really well-rounded. I think that we have a bunch of guys who can all dribble, pass, and shoot. So that actually helps us out a lot. We're able to go 5 out and spread the floor a lot of the time. So we just go out and we play as hard as we can. We listen to the coaches, we lock in, and whoever's night it is, we try to get them the ball, and we just make sure we play hard and defend.
Next question for Jordan Cohen.
Hi, Boo. What is it about Michigan State that seems to bring out the best in you?
What's that question supposed to mean?
Well, I mean, you had that game last year where you had your career high here. You set another career high against them. Is there something about the way they play, or is there something about them that, gets you more into the game, maybe even than other games?
Every time I step on the court, I just try to take what the game is giving me, whether that may be scoring, finding my teammates, leading, or all of the above. I knew that going into this game was going to be a really tough game, a 40-minute fight, going to war, like Coach always says. They have really good athletes and a really good coach. So I just knew that being in the year being in the league for a year now, I just knew what to expect. So I was a lot more comfortable, I would say, and I was just able to play my game, and scoring is what happened to be tonight.
Next question for Coop Daly.
Hey, Boo, congrats on the win, man. Did you do anything different to prepare for this game, especially after kind of the rough one against Pitt? Did you do any more practice, do any more shooting just to get ready? Because I'd say you'd had one of the better shooting performances of your career so far tonight.
Yeah, so it's actually funny. So after the Pitt game, I went to the gym the next day, and I didn't leave the gym until I made 1,000 free throws and 500 3-pointers. So I was there for about 4 hours straight, I would say. It was kind of just to get back, just forget about it. I knew going in there and just being in there for a couple hours would just get my mind off yesterday's game. It just allowed me to move forward and to continue to show my talent. So
Next question for Gabriella Carroll.
Congrats on the win, Boo. You were really a huge offensive facilitator tonight. How were you able to have such success on your own and through like spreading the ball to all of your teammates?
Yeah, so like I was saying before, and to one of the previous questions, our team is really well rounded. So we got a lot of guys who can make shots. So it's easy. When you're getting downhill, when you draw in two, it's easy to kick out to a guy you know who you have a lot of confidence in, and he's going to make that shot for you. So really, it's just reading the game. If I get in the paint and the defense sinks to me, then I make a play for another person. But if they don't stop me, then try to make a play for myself.
Next question for Noah Kaufman.
Boo, you can see when you get going in these types of games how the shots start flowing for you. You know, you hit that first really long three in the first half, then you hit another one in the second half. You took another one that almost went in later in the second half. You know, when you have that confidence combined with the, you know, knowing that your coach is giving you the ability to take those shots, there's no red light on for you. How does that sort of help and help you, you know, be in a position to make those shots, to make those big long threes or those crazy running floaters that you're hitting tonight?
Yeah, so I would say that coach gives us all the green light. I wouldn't say that he holds back on anybody's talent. He allows everyone to play their games. He never yells at us for bad shot, actually yells at us for bad shots, but he never yells at us for any shot that we shoot as long as it's a good one. So I think him doing that puts a lot of confidence in us to go out there and just be able to focus on and concentrate to make the shot. There's a lot of teams that some big guys aren't allowed to shoot threes or even dribble the ball. I think that our guys are allowed to dribble and shoot whenever they're open. So I think that really allows for each of us to have our own inner confidence and just focus on making the shot.
Next question for Kevin Sweeney.
Yeah, hi, Boo. I know before the season, Chris Collins said, I think it was like baptism by fire that you dealt with last season, being a starting point guard in the Big Ten. What did you learn from those battles and those tough games last year that prepared you for a game like this tonight?
Yeah, so last year really prepared me because, as you know, we weren't very good last year. We only won 3 games. And, you know, last year was kind of really a growing point for me, just not through basketball, but through like actual life. And the whole quarantine shutdown of the country just really helped me focus. And it allowed me to just separate myself and work out alone and just study the game a lot. So when I knew coming back, since I just played a year, I knew how hard it is to win in the Big Ten and what it takes now. So just going in with the right mindset and prepared from the coaches really well. They did an awesome job with the scout, and we just locked in, and we knew that we had to be locked in for 40 minutes if we wanted to come out with the win tonight. So.
Last question for Jordan Cohen.
Hey, Boo, you guys got up 61-40 in the second half. Michigan State makes a charge with a 9-0 run. Then Ty steps up and hits that three-pointer for you guys to kind of get you guys calm. What's it say about him as a true freshman, being willing to take that shot in that moment and also connecting?
Yeah, so Ty is like a little brother to me. I try to help him out as much as I can. I feel like in certain ways he's in the same position as I was last year as far as being a true freshman, knowing what it takes, knowing the game, and just being able to slow down. I think that once Ty really slows down, he's going to be really good. So he stepped up tonight and made a huge shot for us. I knew coming off that handoff or the ball screen, whatever I came off, I knew that we were going to have a backside action, and I saw it was Ty, so I was confident in him shooting the ball. He's a really good shooter. So.
Thank you, Boo. Appreciate your time.
No problem.